Hi, my name is Terry Johnson, and I'm your host today. We're talking about the 3 keys that will help you crack the history code. Let's get started. History is one of those subjects that divides people. Some people love studying history and are fascinated by it, and others are either confused or bored by it. Why this dichotomy? I've been teaching history for 17 years. If I were to ask someone to define history, here's an answer I might receive. History is a list of events that happen throughout time. Dictionary.com defines history this way: the branch of knowledge dealing with past events. Sounds boring. Or the aggregate of past events. Sounds confusing. Merriam-Webster makes it uber simple with this definition: events of the past. Okay, so it's no wonder that some people do not enjoy history. If not taught correctly, it can be vague, overwhelming, confusing, or downright boring. Because events of the past is not a complete picture. History is a story. The word has story in its name, for goodness sake. And what does every good story need? Yes, that's right. Characters that tell who, plot that tells what, setting that shows where, and context that tells when. When I first began homeschooling my kids 17 years ago, I was completely intimidated by all that I needed to teach them. A friend pointed out to me that I don't have to teach everything at once, just one thing at a time. And start by teaching my firstborn how to read. Because once a child can read, he or she can discover anything for himself or herself. I was delighted to find out how much my daughter loved to read, and we dove headlong into every kind of story imaginable. When we first began studying history, we found it to be rather dull. Learning a list of events with strange names of people, places, and battles did not hold our imagination. Until I discovered that history is a story. Shortly thereafter, we stumbled upon Susan Weisbauer's Story of the World, and we were off and running. We've used several history curricula since then, and there are so many great programs out there to choose from. But one thing has become exceedingly clear. While there is no perfect or complete history curricula out there, we can enjoy the challenge of cracking the history code using our own minds, tools, and resources to craft the perfect history program for our family. Let me show you how. First, let's go back to the essentials of a great story. Characters tell who, plot tells what, setting shows where, and context tells when. Generally speaking, your history curriculum will cover the what for you, the plot, the sequence of events. If you're still looking for a good history curriculum to use this year, ask your friends what they like, do a little research, and then just pick one. Some of our favorites have been Story of the World, Mystery of History, Classical Conversations, that's what we're using right now, Tapestry of Grace, Heart of Dakota, Truth Quest, Amanda Bennett, Learning Adventures, Ambleside Online, Winter Promise, Beautiful Feet, and Sonlight. We've personally used 8 of these programs and have seriously considered the other 4. They are all good. And there are even more out there that I'm not familiar with that are very good as well. So, the what should be taken care of if you follow the plan from your history program. Today, though, we are going to begin revealing the missing pieces of this history puzzle, starting with the who of the history story. Every good story has a main character and several supporting characters. The characters put a face to the story, but even more so, they provide the motivations, the emotions, the heart of the story. Put yourself in the shoes of a child learning history. They are given a list of names and events to memorize. Kids have an incredible capacity to memorize large amounts of information. But they might mix up who is who, right? Have you ever noticed that? Well, it's not so very different from us. Let's say that we're introduced to someone at an event. Then, a couple days later, we see that person at the store. Will you remember her name? Usually, we don't. Why? Because we don't know her personally. At least, not yet. But if you ran into your good friend at the store, you would not only know her name, but you would notice if she was sporting a new haircut or a new skirt. We notice details about our friend because we know her well. We need to get to know the characters of history. An introduction will not cut it. Let's make them our friends. We do this by reading stories. While historical fiction may provide some factual information about a real person from history, and I certainly recommend including historical fiction into your reading times together, it is historical biographies that provide a real glimpse into their lives. How can you add historical biographies into your school day? Pretty simply, really. We look for biographies at our favorite homeschool websites and the library. We make it a goal to read at least a couple biographies each month. We will often read a biography, then a historical fiction story, then another biography. We usually enjoy our reading time after we've finished our book work in the late morning, but you can read first thing in the morning, during lunchtime, middle of the afternoon, or right before bed. It doesn't matter when you read together, just pick a time in your daily schedule and stick with it. Early in our homeschool journey, we ordered quite a number of biographies from Sonlight to read aloud to our family. Most of them are excellent. Since then, Knowledge Quest has published 34 historical biographies from ancient to modern times. But don't run out and buy these books right now. At least, not the What Really Happened series. They will be on sale next week, so hold tight on that. Plus, I'm happy to give you a biography from our What Really Happened collection today. Since I was just in Mainz, Germany, I'm inspired by the story of Johann Gutenberg, the inventor of the printing press. You can download it right below this video. I hope that you and your family will truly enjoy it. We also publish Quest, a monthly digital magazine available on Apple and Android devices that highlights extraordinary individuals throughout history. Quest is only $1.99 a month, but I'm not here to sell you a magazine. The 40 to 70 page publication certainly sold itself, but that's not why we're here. But I'll provide links below this video anyway, just in case you're interested. I mention the magazine to emphasize how important story has become to our family. This month's issue of Quest features a piece on President Grover Cleveland, along with additional fun articles about the Boston Tea Party, children in the Middle Ages, the history of South Korea, and apple harvesting. So, to wrap this up, do you want your kids to make a connection with history? Just add in some historical biographies from the time period you're studying and enjoy getting to know the characters of history. Yes, it's that simple. Okay, coming up. On Friday, October 23rd, we'll post the second video in the series, The 3 Keys to Cracking the History Code. We're going to discuss setting, because when we know the setting for the story, we understand it better. So, next steps. Download Johann Gutenberg below, get on our email list, and look for my email on October 23rd. See you then. Oh, I almost forgot. Please scroll down to the comment section and leave a comment below. Let me know what you liked about this video and its content, or you can even tell me what you didn't like. That way I can be sure to bring you content that is spot on for the next one. See you Friday.